I'm Lynn Packer with the fourth in a series of reports on the Hill Farms Homeowners Association, abbreviated HOA, in Kaysville, Utah. This episode is about how the Hill Farms HOA self-destructed, bringing about impending doom on its own. This episode might make more sense if you first watched the previous three. That said, let's get started. There are multiple causes that contributed to the Hill Farms HOA meltdown. I'll call them Grim Reaper factors, impending doom signs that led to its catastrophic demise. What happened? What are the harbingers of doom? Beginning in 2013, the entity that set up and ran the HOA, a Utah company named Legacy Neighborhoods, never established a fully functioning HOA. The seeds of the HOA's destruction were sown at the very beginning, with lots more to follow. Appointed partisan directors who were loyal to the developer, hired inept management companies, kept adding way too many homes over too many years, never prepared homeowners to take over, did not relinquish control at a time dictated by Utah law and by the HOA's own bylaws. But first, let me point out that until homeowners take control, HOAs should be called DOAs. At the outset of any housing development that adopts the Homeowners Association concept, homeowners do not control the association until most, sometimes all of the houses are built. A so-called declarant creates and runs the association. Until homeowners take over, it should be called a DOA, Declarant Owner Association. So what is a declarant? I'll explain that in a couple of minutes. The housing project began when 83 acres owned by the Hill family were put out to bid. It was the site of a dairy farm once run by brothers Joseph and Richard Hill. Their families wanted a special development, a legacy. They entertained offers from at least 6 developers. Not one, but 2 companies won the bid, but the family required them to partner to form one company to develop the Hill property. Thus, 2 bid competitors, Destination Homes and Golden Land Management, partnered and formed a new company they called Legacy Neighborhoods in order to get the contract. Legacy Neighborhoods would later become the declarant. But before I explain what a declarant is, I'll explain why 2 companies needed to form a new entity to do the project. I'll let Cameron Scott explain why. Scott was once chairman of the Hill Farms HOA board while he was a manager with Destination Homes. He told me the Marriotts bid on it and Destination bid on it. One side of the family wanted the Marriotts, the other side wanted Destination. The families decided, let's just give it to Henry Walker Homes, another bidder. So Destination went to Marriott and said, neither one of us is going to get this job unless we partner on it. They partnered and formed Legacy Neighborhoods, the declarant for Hill Farms. Even before all the legal paperwork was done to establish a Hill Farms HOA, construction had already begun, as reported in the Salt Lake Tribune. A photo showed Destination Homes president Brad Wilson at the site and the first model home, a 2-story yellow Victorian house. Now it's time to explain what a declarant is. A declarant is a company that is the first owner and manager of an HOA, long before home buyers ever take over the HOA. Here's how it happens, step by step. Incorporate a company with the state that will become the declarant if the company does not already exist, such as an existing home builder. Incorporate the HOA with the state as its own identity, with its own name. The declarant can then file a declaration with a county recorder, the HOA's covenants, conditions, and restrictions that describe what home buyers can do and cannot do with their home and property. Then finally, file bylaws that dictate how the HOA is run. Legacy Neighborhoods, the Hill Farms HOA Declarant, was formed in 2013 and officially registered with the state of Utah. The registered agent was Cammie Marriott of Plain City, Utah, who was one of the Declarant's two managers, along with David Bailey, who officed in Layton, Utah. Those are the two who held all the power over Hill Farms HOA. A month after the declarant came into being, it created the HOA itself by incorporating it with the state. The first board of directors was made up of the two declarant managers, Marriott, whose company is Golden Land Management, and Bailey, plus Bailey's business partner, Brad Wilson. Wilson and Bailey co-founded Destination Homes, the company that would construct all homes in the development. The declarant, Legacy Neighborhoods, took the third legal step by filing a Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions, abbreviated CC&Rs, with the Davis County Recorder's Office. It was filed by the two declarant managers, Bailey and Marriott. This document established the rules that by law all homeowners in the HOA must follow. They sign contracts to that effect when they buy their homes. The Hill Farms HOA declarant will remain in control until homeowners take over the HOA, usually after most or all of the homes are built. It's called the declarant control period. Declarant Legacy Neighborhoods, through its two managers, had the legal authority to set restrictions and covenants on future homeowners. Legacy had the legal power to enforce the rules through a board of appointed directors, which can include warnings, fines, even foreclosing on homes. It had the right to install and remove directors, but could overturn a board's decision. It had the authority to set monthly fees for maintenance of property owned by the HOA, like playgrounds and green space. Here's a flow chart that shows how related entities are connected. Destination Homes and Golden Land Management created Legacy Neighborhoods, LLC, which in turn created the HOA. Legacy Neighborhoods controls the HOA. A property management company, Welch Randall of Ogden, Utah, manages the HOA. I won't detail all of the meltdown contributing factors in this report, but I'll highlight some of them, beginning with the fact one of the declarant managers left the other in full control. Cammie Marriott, the declarant co-manager, wanted nothing to do with running an HOA, which left all of the authority in the hands of the declarant's other manager, David Bailey. This factor will become a significant part of the HOA's collapse down the road, as you'll see later in this video. Once Destination Homes gained full control of the HOA, it ignored the law and the declarant's own foundation documents. The HOA's legal compliance and transparency got off to a really bad start. Bylaws were filed 3 years late. No formal board of director meetings were held. Informal meetings were secret. Homeowner members were not notified of meetings, had no opportunity to attend, to comment, or vote. In short, home buyers were disenfranchised, denied rights under the Declaration and bylaws. It was a fatal beginning. I quoted Cameron Scott earlier. He worked for Destination Homes and was once the HOA board chairman. He said, "The Marriotts did not want to touch the HOA. Destination Homes acted as the sole declarant and controlled the HOA. David Bailey with Destination called the shots for Legacy Neighborhoods. Legacy Neighborhoods did not want to have a bunch of annual meetings and held none. They wrote the rules so they could meet in David's office. There was no time to type minutes. They had to make decisions quickly. The board did not want interference from homeowners." Meltdown Factor 3, HOA Sprawl. The HOA began dying of its own weight to the point of collapse. The development's excessive number of homes and spread out locations contributed to its dysfunction. It went beyond one neighborhood to multiple disconnected neighborhoods. Eventually, there were 7 phases, 6 in West Kaysville and 1 in Layton, spread over a decade. The number of homes will total 352, where the U.S. average is 77 in an HOA, the Utah average 68. One subdivision was stacked on another. In Phase 1, there were 83 homes, so it was already bigger than average. 16 in Phase 2, 31 in 3, 33 in 4. Phase 5 had 38 homes. Phase 6, 29. And Phase 7, still under construction, there will be 69, totaling 352. There was no organization set up, no meetings, no discussions about takeover, no legal advice being sought, no method being found for homeowners to choose a board of directors. Future homeowner takeover will be like trying to herd more than 350 cats, more than 700 if you count the fact most homes are owned by 2 people who share a vote but may disagree about a path forward. Which leads to factor 4, Destination Homes had no plan for turning over control. There are several facts or subfactors that came into play, each of them contributing to the turnover fiasco. The declaration gave the declarant full power extending more than a decade to the very end. That enabled the declarant to call the shots and illegally exclude homeowner participation. The declarant failed to prepare homeowners for takeover, no plan to gradually share power, and the biggie, the declarant lost legal control more than a year and a half ago, but kept it secret. The control allocation topic is complicated, mainly because the declarant made it complex, and Utah law heavily favors developers over home buyers. But any HOA member who wants to understand his or her obligation and rights needs to understand how control is allotted. The Hill Farms Declaration gave the declarant enormous voting power by creating 2 classes of voting members, A and B. Class A members, homeowners, get 1 vote per lot. The declarant gets 100 votes per acre or 100 votes per lot. It's an absurd allocation of voting power that the declarant, Legacy Neighborhoods, could give itself because of a gaping loophole in Utah's developer-friendly law. The loopholes in the Utah Code allowed declarants to assign themselves as much voting power as they want, even a preposterous 100 votes per lot and acre, and to effectively never give up control of an HOA until every home has been built and the declarant moves on. Utah Code provides that the period of administrative or declarant control ends when 75% of the lots were sold, or when the declarant wants to give up control. And of course, that never happened. It essentially gives the declarant 1 vote per lot, except for the loopholes. The governing documents, that is, the ones filed by the declarant, say Class B control runs until 90 days after the first to occur, and so in comparison with the code, they give themselves an extra 30 days, but they give themselves 100 votes per acre and 100 votes per lot. And so they keep control when until the total number of votes for the Class B member, that's the declarant, is less than the total number of votes for the Class A members, or when they voluntarily want to give up control, which did not happen. So, in effect, they keep control until 99% or more of all lots and acreage is sold. The Hill Farms declarant fully controls the board of directors, has the power to appoint the board, power to remove and replace a director, and the power to override board decisions. Bottom line, Hill Farms declarant control will continue until it has sold all of its lots and acreage. When will that happen? When Phase 7 is built out, maybe sometime next year? Or has it already happened and the declarant has not disclosed it? Here's some breaking news. The declarant does not want Hill Farms home buyers to know. The declarant control ended at least a year and a half ago, but the declarant kept it secret. What about its 100 votes per lot and 100 votes per acre? The declarant never owned any lots. The declarant sold its last acreage in July 2021. The declarant lost its authority during the development of Phase 7, located just east of Angel Street and north of Kays Creek, where homes are still under construction and lots still being sold. The declarant, Legacy Neighborhoods, sold its last parcel in about July 2021. At that point, it had no more votes. There's smoking gun proof in the form of deeds recorded with the Davis County Clerk. For example, on July 21, 2021, the declarant, Legacy Neighborhood, sold this property to Golden Land Management, Inc., the Marriott company that subdivided the property. 90 days after the sale, Legacy was supposed to have relinquished control of the HOA to homeowners. It did not and kept it secret. There's more. Besides the declarant no longer having any votes, Destination Homes, whose co-founder David Bailey had been running the HOA, gave up its interest in Legacy Neighborhoods, leaving Cami Marriott as the sole manager. As if to double down on the Destination Homes exit from Legacy, co-founders David Bailey and Brad Wilson sold Destination Homes to Larry H. Miller Real Estate, and the two left Destination. For the past year and a half, Cami Marriott has been the sole declarant manager, but has done nothing to act as the declarant. Here's how that worked. Years after Destination and Golden Land Management formed Legacy Neighborhoods, LLC, Destination gave up its half-legacy ownership. It went from 50% to 0, and sold 100% to Larry Miller Real Estate, which means David Bailey was out as a declarant manager, leaving Cami Marriott in charge. Meltdown Factor 5 involves a genuine mystery. If Cami Marriott has not been acting as the declarant this past year and a half, who has? Neither the HOA's attorney nor management company will say who they've been taking direction from during that time. So besides the HOA's near death from so many other factors, it's also been under phantom control. In summary, the Hill Farms HOA declarant lost control more than a year and a half ago. It was kept secret. For the past 18 months or so, no one has had legal control. But someone, a fandom, has been calling the shots without authority. The HOA's manager, an attorney, refused to say who that is. Since 2021, the mystery declarant held a secret March 2023 board meeting. Homeowners were not notified and could not attend. No minutes were posted on the website. They're missing. Another board meeting was held the week of May 22nd this year, also secret. The fandom appointed and removed directors without telling homeowners. The mystery declarant continues to allow management of the HOA to be further corrupted by arbitrary, preferential, and non-enforcement of restrictive covenants. Meltdown Factor 6, Bungling Boards of Directors. Hill Farms has had a revolving door of directors over the years. In 2013, the initial board was David Bailey, Cami Marriott, and Brad Wilson, two of them also being managers for the declarant. Jumping ahead to 2018, all directors were developer employees. The HOA's 2020 newsletter shows for the first time two independent homeowners had been appointed to the board, Aaron Hickson and John McFarlane. It gave the appearance homeowners controlled the board, but the newsletter deceitfully failed to show two additional developer representatives were still on the board. 2 years ago, the homeowner directors are still there, but could be outvoted by destination homes directors. One of the reasons the declarant finally appointed two homeowners to the board was supposedly to begin preparation for homeowner control, but they did absolutely nothing to get ready. They voted with destinations directors. They were token homeowner representatives. At one point, the declarant deceptively claimed it had appointed a third owner rep to the board. The minutes show that declarant representatives announced John Warnick no longer with Destination Homes and as an appointed resident member. Motion made for his replacement through the declarant as Dustin Norman. Motion passed unanimously. Declarant board members are Dustin Norman, Jared McGavin, and Annie McDonald. Appointed resident members are John Warnick, Aaron Hickson, and John McFarlane. It was all theater. Destination Homes employee Warnick does live in Hill Farms, but merely was transferred from his job at Destination Homes to the same position at Larry H. Miller Real Estate, which purchased Destination Homes. He not only remains a developer director, but also he did nothing to prepare homeowners for taking over. As I said, Destination Homes was sold to the Larry H. Miller Real Estate Company, as the Deseret News reported. On Tuesday, the group's Larry H. Miller Real Estate Portfolio Company announced plans to acquire Utah residential construction company Destination Homes. The business was co-founded by Utah House Speaker Brad Wilson and has been a longtime partner of the Miller Group's real estate operation. It's bad enough that the homeowners' two board members did nothing meaningful to represent homeowners, but at some time during the last year or so, the two actual, even if ineffective, homeowner representatives on the HOA board, McFarlane and Hickson, resigned from the board. Homeowners were not told they resigned or when or why they resigned. They were replaced by yet another Destination Homes board member, picked in secret by the fandom declarant, leaving 0 homeowner representatives. This at a time, legally, all board members should have been homeowners chosen by a vote of homeowners. Here are the current Hill Farms HOA directors, information not yet provided to all homeowners. I got it via a records request. As you can see, the 2 homeowner representatives are gone. They were replaced with yet another Destination Homes director, Natalie Gordon, all done in secret by a fandom declarant. The new board member was appointed after Legacy Neighborhoods, LLC, no longer had control. It was an illegal appointment. She said she was appointed by Larry H. Miller Real Estate. That company is not the declarant. She believes Destination Homes is the declarant. It's not. Stranger yet, one board member came and went between secret board meetings. Who made the appointment? When? Under what authority? Meltdown Factor 7. The looming Phase 7 common area expense disaster. When Phase 7 is completed, the entire HOA will take over the cost of maintaining its common areas. Its common area is much larger than the others, a rather massive 4 acres, because of required empty space and detention basins in the floodplain next to Kays Creek. Even though it's already deeded to the HOA, Destination is picking up the maintenance tab. Destination paying is not a good thing. It conceals what it will cost the HOA when homeowners take over. As a side note, check out Phase 7's common area grass. It's lush and well manicured, and not paid for by the HOA. Shabby lawn care might turn off prospective home buyers. Now check out the grass in Phase 5, where HOA members do pay for maintenance, bare spots and weed patches. Meltdown Factor 8. The Hill Farms HOA's failure to enforce covenants. You can watch my previous 3 reports for details about the HOA's failures. It's a factor that by itself, without the others, dooms the Hill Farms HOA. Covenants may have become unenforceable by law. It's not legal to selectively enforce, arbitrarily enforce, or not enforce. Here are 3 examples regarding the HOA's wood fencing restrictions. One HOA posted this caution: good fences make good neighbors. Know your HOA bylaws before installing a fence. Of course, it was Robert Frost who coined that phrase. You could also say, a bad fence makes a bad neighbor. The Hill Farms CC&Rs permit only 2 styles of wood fences, which must be cedar: picket and 2-rail. The first fence example is where the fence rule didn't apply to the declarant manager's brother who lives in Hill Farms. Brick corner post, crossbuck design, and the color are not permitted by the Hill Farms CC&Rs. Board membership has its privileges. This next violation involves an application to the Hill Farms Architectural Review Board, ARB, for approval for a planned fence. It was submitted by HOA board member John McFarlane. His app provided no fence detail, no type, no height, no color, just fence in front and backyard. Where some application approvals take weeks, this one, submitted by a board member, was approved the same day. Board membership has its privileges. Fence violation, Exhibit C, is about the approval of the HOA's ugliest fence. This steel post slatwood fence that violates the HOA's CC&Rs was approved by a member of the HOA board. Besides not being a required design, it also conflicts with the Hill Farms guidebook, which says all front yard fencing should be consistent with the architectural style of the house. Hill Farms board member, Destination Homes employee John Warnick approved the non-compliant fence. Not surprising, because Warnick, also a Hill Farms resident, violates the CC&Rs himself by storing a house trailer in his driveway and displaying unauthorized signage. Board membership has its privileges. The homeowners whose fence Warnick approved violate other HOA rules: garbage can infraction, trailer storage violation, landscaping not completed, weed infestation. The homeowners also at least once put their basement up for rent in violation of the single-family rule. Wrapping up this episode, these 2 questions. If the transition ever happens prior to accepting control, should homeowners demand the HOA be fully restored or entirely dissolved? Or at a minimum, demand Hill Farms be divided into 7 HOAs to make herding cats a bit more doable? That's the end. Thanks for watching. If you have comments, corrections, or questions, you could email lpacker636@gmail.com.